up, everyone? How's it going? This is Waj, and what you're looking at right now is the Linksys WRT3200 ACM. Now, what this is potentially the fastest, most powerful wireless networking home solution that you can get right now. Now, what makes this router special is that it effectively doubles the bandwidth from most dual-band routers that can support up to 80 megahertz. With this system, you can go up to 160 megahertz. Now, be warned, there's actually not a lot of devices currently available right now that supports that bandwidth. In fact, the only thing that I can really think of is getting another one of these WRT3200 ACM routers and using it as a wireless bridge. Now, that being said, there's going to be dedicated adapters as well as devices that are going to support advanced 4x4 MIMO AC wireless technology, which is going to utilize the potential bandwidth that this thing has to offer. In fact, in 2.4 gigahertz mode, you can theoretically get up to 600 megabytes a second, and in 5 gigahertz mode, you can theoretically get up to 2600 megabytes a second. Thus, if you add 600 plus 2600, you get 3200, and that's why this is called the WRT 3200 in the first place. Now, all this is going to be relevant to the person that streams a lot of high definition and 4K content, whether that be movies or television shows, and as well as going to be streaming games with all these different services and internet bandwidth becoming a huge issue. Not everyone can have a wired connection, and this is where a router designed for multiple high bandwidth users becomes pretty relevant for the home enthusiasts or even really small business solutions. Now, externally, you can see the design of this router is pretty much identical to the previous generation WRT 1900 AC as well as the S model. So from the front panel indicator lights as well as the LAN connections at the back, USB 3.0 as well as eSATA connections, you pretty much have the same router from a functional standpoint, externally speaking. Internally, though, it has an upgraded Marvell processor. It's still using a dual-core chip, but it's clocked at 1.8 gigahertz compared to 1.6 gigahertz compared to the ACS model, and as well as you have a little bit more flash memory on this unit, about 256 megabytes compared to 128 on the WRT 1900 ACS. In terms of the software itself, like most WRT Linksys routers, it has the Smart Wi-Fi OS, which is very easy to use and set up, maybe limited for advanced users, but the great thing is, of course, just like any other WRT routers, you can easily install third-party open source firmware such as OpenWRT or DDWRT if you want to go beyond the stock software that comes pre-installed with the router. Now, in terms of the performance of this router itself, when speaking of the wired LAN connection, the maximum rate for data throughput in terms of transmission control protocol via the wired connection is around 1055 megabits per second. And when it comes to testing out the data throughput from a wireless standpoint, to keep things as real world as possible, I basically connected USB 3 hard drive directly into the router, and then I connect my MacBook Air just 5 feet away from the router itself, both on the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz channels. And here is basically the results over here. So in terms of the 2.4 gigahertz channel, the downlink speed was around 68 megabits a second, and the uplink was about 52 megabits a second. When we switch over to the 5 gigahertz wireless channel, now keep in mind that the MacBook does not have an advanced AC adapter in there. It's just a standard 2x2 MIMO system, so certainly not utilizing the full capabilities of what this router has to offer. But that being said, we got a speed about 204 megabits a second in terms of downlink and about 174 megabits a second in terms of uplink. So generally not too bad. You're not going to see any real difference between this router and a standard AC router unless you have the proper 4x4 adapter built into your laptop, or you have an external adapter that can utilize that full bandwidth. And again, even that being said, there's still not any adapters that can utilize the tri-stream technology of having a spatial stream up to 160 megahertz. So that's certainly future-proof technology that will probably be seen in a lot more upcoming devices with more advanced AC wireless technology. But really, on that, guys, that's really it. As we mentioned before, this router is certainly designed for the future and for the person that's going to expand their networking capabilities later on. So it's a great great solution if you're going to plan ahead. Right now, speaking, there's not really a major advantage from this to a standard 1900 AC router, and certainly the price is a little bit higher for that future-proof technology, and you are getting solid hardware inside. But really, other than that, guys, that's really it. If you have any specific questions, let me know, and thanks for watching again. We'll see you later. Take care.
The next generation of Wi-Fi is here. Experience a new level of Wi-Fi performance with total Wi-Fi speeds of up to 2.53 gigabits per second. Introducing the Nighthawk X4S AC2600 Smart Wi-Fi Router. Wi-Fi performance in mobile devices is often limited by its small size. The result is slower Wi-Fi speeds for 4K video streaming or high-speed gaming. Enter the Nighthawk X4S. The Nighthawk X4S doubles the Wi-Fi speeds of previous routers to the newest mobile devices with its industry-first 160 MHz bandwidth support, ensuring the fastest speeds for mobile devices today and tomorrow. Also, instead of sending data to one device at a time, like traditional Wi-Fi routers, the Nighthawk X4S sends data to multiple devices simultaneously with MU-MIMO and quad stream technology. This means you can stream your favorite 4K video to one device and play an intense multi-user online video game on a different device, all at the same time. The dual-core 1.7 GHz processor boosts both Wi-Fi and wired performance, while Dynamic QoS prioritizes internet traffic by application and device, so you'll experience lag-free gaming and streaming. Say goodbye to Wi-Fi dead zones. 4 external high-performance antennas with powerful amplifiers, combined with beamforming plus, ensure the best Wi-Fi coverage. Plus, you can easily back up and stream your music, photos, or videos wirelessly to devices around your home, simply by connecting external USB 3.0 or eSATA storage devices. The next generation of Wi-Fi is here. The all-new Nighthawk X4S AC2600 Smart Wi-Fi Router from Netgear.
Yo, what's up guys, Toby here back with another video, and today we are going to be taking a look at a router from Linksys. I have never reviewed a router in the past, so if you do feel like I left any information out, please do let me know in the comments down below and I will give you that information. So, this is the EA7500. The router is a dual band AC router that supports both 2.4 and 5 GHz bands. In terms of speeds, it can do up to 1900 megabits per second, which is definitely plenty. It's very easy to set up. Just go to linksys.smartwifi.com and set up your Wi-Fi name and password. After that, you can set up an online account that you can access from anywhere in the world. They also have an app both in the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store. On the back, you have 2 USB ports that you can use with external hard drives to essentially make your router a NAS. We then have a Wi-Fi protected setup button, a reset button, the Internet in connection followed by 4 Ethernet ports, and a 12-volt DC power in. When it comes to range, I was surprised in a good way. I could walk away from my room all the way to the most outside corner of my backyard. I'd say this was about 25 meters or 65 feet and about 3 walls. Now, obviously, I was not getting good speed from that distance, but at least it worked. We have a 100 megabit down and 10 up connection in our house, and I got about 90 megabits per second with a moderate distance, which is great. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the web software that you can use to control the router system. So this is the web interface system. So first off, you log in with the password that you have created in this setup process. And once you are in, you will have a bunch of options and settings to play around with. So let me show you that right now. So as you can see here, this is the home page. So first up, we see the network status, So this device connected to the router, and the router is connected to the internet, and everything is working fine as it should. Then we have this, which is basically just some tips and tricks. On wireless here, you can see the wireless networks that you have created. This one is 2.4 and this one is 5 gigahertz. On here you have the option to set up a guest network with its own password, and it has set up its own password called Strawberry18, and you can see how many guests are on your network. On the network map, you can see how many devices are connected to the network's the system. And on parental controls, you can choose if the parental controls are on or off. And here is the external storage. If you happen to connect an external hard drive to your router, this essentially becomes a NAS drive, which is really awesome. On media prioritization, you can prioritize devices, and we will get to that more in depth later. So here we have our tools. So let's start with network map. On here we can see our router, and we can also see that my MacBook Pro is connected to this network. If you click on it, you can see device info, and you can change the name of the device. So I will choose just MacBook Pro. Oh crap, 15. And here you can see that it is connected to the Linksys EA7500 network system. And up here you can check who is connected to your guest network as well. On the next page, here you can check out guest access more in detail. So allow guest access, and here you can choose your network names and password. So change the name and password, and then also how many total guests allowed into your guest network. So the next one is parental controls, which is very awesome if you happen to be a parent. Obviously you can click yes, and if so let's say that I have a kid who has a MacBook Pro 15 and I want to block his internet access, or his or hers, at specific times. I can then choose at what times the internet will be blocked. That is great, but I can also block specific websites. So let's say I want to block, I can block websites. And next up is media prioritization, which is great if you happen to have either a kid or yourself who wants to either watch Netflix and it lags, or you want to play games and it lags, so you want to have the prioritization. So what you do then is you click on, you then select which thing is going to get its high priority. I'll put my MacBook Pro here, and on here I can choose which applications that get the prioritization. There are some preset applications here, but if you would like to add a new application, you can do that here. But you can also prioritize online games, such as the ones on this list. And if your game is not on this list, you can click add a new game to prioritize that server for better ping and better gaming experience, pretty much. Next up here, speed test is basically just a speed test to check your broadband speed. And now on external storage, you can connect an external storage device and give different access to folders to different people within your network. Next up here is settings. This is where you can change the router password and everything that has to do with your router. Now this is more advanced stuff, and it should be good as it is, so you should not have to play around with this, but you can if you would like to. And next up is troubleshooting. Basically just troubleshooting, and the one after that is wireless, where you can change a few settings to your security mode, your network name on both the 5 and 2.4 network band, and you can choose everything here. And you can also choose wireless scheduler to turn on and turn off the wireless network as well at different times, which is great to have as well. Next up we have security, which is basically just security settings that you can choose. So that is the WebOS. By the way guys, if you happen to have an old laptop or a desktop PC, you can pick up Linksys Wi-Fi adapter that supports the latest